From Valeria Levitin, the skinniest woman in the world, to Junior Rucroft, the boy allergic to his own hair, here are 10 unusual people who really exist. Lucky Diamond Rich, whose real name is Gregory Paul McLaren, is a New Zealander who works as a circus performer. If his greatest desire is to be able to perform sensational acts under the big top and impress the public, he does not fail to attract the curious looks of this public and all those who cross his path. Do you know why? Because this 50-year-old has his whole body tattooed. It may seem hard to believe, but Lucky Diamond Rich had 100% of the surface of his body tattooed, including the internal parts of some of his limbs. This man has been living with this appearance for many years, and these tattoos have even earned him the Guinness World Record for the most tattooed man in the world since 2006. On the other hand, because of this amazing appearance, this man never goes unnoticed in the street and therefore can't enjoy any privacy, so to speak. Nevertheless, he must feel good about himself, even if all these tattoos have changed him forever. We are now going to tell you about a young Englishman who calls himself Darkness Vlad Tepes, who lives in Blackburn, in a rather remote area of England. We can understand that this young man has chosen to live his life far away from everything. Except that the life he leads is not quite ordinary, because indeed, Darkness Vlad Tepes lives like a vampire. In order to follow this way of life that has fascinated him since he was 13 years old, this young man acts as these legendary characters do. He even had a coffin made to sleep in. Can you imagine? However, if he manages to put himself in the skin of a vampire, Darkness Vlad Tepes is a victim of his own lifestyle. He has even been attacked on his way out, according to him. But this will not prevent the young man to continue to live as he wants, while keeping hope to be respected as he is. Moreover, Darkness Vlad Tepes does not hesitate to reveal his way of existing to the press, which helps him to be known more and more today. Like all children her age, Olivia Farnsworth is a happy little girl who loves life and wants to play and have fun. But unlike other children, Olivia doesn't fall asleep after spending all her energy playing. In other words, she hardly sleeps at all and can go up to 3 days without sleeping. Not only that, but she is almost never hungry, and she doesn't feel pain if she falls down, for example. It may seem unbelievable to you, but the girl, who is now 13 years old, has an extremely rare chromosomal abnormality. The young English girl, who has adapted to her very special condition since she was very young, now takes medication. This does help her sleep well, although these substances are not without risk to her health. However, in the future, Olivia could one day turn to a better solution thanks to the research that is being done on chromosomal disorders, including her own. Indeed, the bionic girl, as she is known in Great Britain, is now a medical case in her own right and a real challenge for researchers. Valeria Levitin is a young woman of Russian origin who emigrated to Chicago with her parents several years ago. When she arrived in the United States, the young Russian woman wanted to integrate more easily into society, especially in her new school where she hoped to be accepted. But Valeria had a serious problem: her weight, which was a handicap in her eyes. To remedy this, Valeria started to starve herself in order to get that coveted wasp waist and have a career in modeling. After a very strict diet, she ended up losing weight, but her forced diet and multiple deprivations led her to anorexia. Suffering from this eating disorder since her teenage years, the young woman quickly found herself with nothing but skin and bones. Indeed, at 45 years old, she weighed only 25 kilograms, which earned her the record of the skinniest person in the world. Sick and unable to start a family because of her condition, Valeria regrets today to have launched into this adventure. But this does not prevent her today from raising awareness among young girls against the danger of eating disorders and the desire to lose weight at all costs. If Valeria Levitin has been considered for a long time as a model for many young girls, she became later a real fighter and advisor who militates today for the protection of these girls against the blind fascination for thinness. Junior Rucroft lives in Darlington, England, with his mother and 5 siblings. As a child, Junior dreamed of only one thing: to live a normal life like all the other children. But this proved to be an impossible dream because young Junior suffered from a very strange condition. He was allergic to many things, including his own hair. No, this is not a joke. Junior suffered from severe allergic reactions, including acute asthma attacks when he would touch his hair and then put his hand on his face, which required several hospitalizations in the past. Because of his particularly delicate situation, the child had his hair cut very short and had to ingest several medications. In this way, he avoided the risk of another severe allergic reaction. This was very painful for him because he could not do without his medication, and he could not hope to grow his hair back. But the child certainly got used to all this in the end. Junior may be 15 years old now, but his exceptional medical case has made him a person like no other. Karan Singh lives in India. He is a tall boy who seems to have inherited his physical characteristic from his mother, a basketball player. But when this boy wants to go out or go somewhere, all eyes are suddenly on him because, well, Karan Singh is too tall for his age. To give you an idea of how tall he is, a few years ago, when he was only 8 years old, he was already 1.98 meters tall, and his growth had not yet run its course. Do you think that this affects him? Not at all. On the contrary, Karan Singh seems perfectly comfortable in his body. In fact, thanks to his size, he holds 2 world records, including the one for the tallest child of his age and the one for the tallest and heaviest baby in the world. However, if his size has allowed him to enjoy these titles and to be known, it prevents him from easily finding clothes for his age or shoes in the right size. Fortunately, his mother is there to help him and to make shoes that fit him well. No wonder this boy has become a celebrity in his country and in the world. Her name may not ring a bell, but Casey Legler is a French-born former Olympic swimmer who is also an artist and model. Since she made her debut in modeling, a little by chance if we dare to say, this young woman intends to assert herself in the male fashion industry. You didn't hear wrong, no. Casey Legler is a male model, and she is the first woman in the world to model for men's fashion, according to her own words. The reason? Her height and androgynous look make her look like a man. All this makes Casey wear men's clothes and pose with them, perfectly at ease. This has even allowed her to acquire an international reputation in the fashion world. But while her unique look has brought her fame, this model still has to endure the confusion and puzzled looks of others, because it is hard to believe that Casey is biologically a woman. This does not bother the former swimmer, who now has her place among the most famous models in the world. Wim Hof, the Iceman, is an extreme athlete known for his great resistance to freezing temperatures. It can be said that this man has always wanted to take on the most extreme challenges in cold environments, such as swimming under the ice or running barefoot on the ice. This has made him an unusual person and different from others. Wim Hof seems to adapt well to this icy environment, especially since he created, a few years ago, a breathing technique called the Wim Hof method. This method combines breathing, cold, and meditation. The 63-year-old Dutchman claims that this method has enabled him to achieve superhuman feats to overcome difficult challenges in his personal life. However, as effective as it is, and although it has many advantages, Wim Hof's method is not unanimously accepted by everyone, unfortunately for him. Indeed, Wim Hof has already been criticized for his method, which has caused the death of a few people after they have tried it. But in spite of everything, his technique still continues to arouse the interest of many people. In fact, Wim Hof has become the popular star of the new TV show, where he puts celebrities to the test by having them try his famous method. Tinghao Fen is a Chinese girl who has been in the news for quite some time. Indeed, this young girl entered in competition with other women because she hoped to obtain a very unusual title, that of the person having the biggest breasts of the world. Tinghao Fen has a natural breast which is not ordinary. Each of her breasts weighs 10 kilograms. This amazing physical feature, which is due to a rare anomaly, appeared at puberty. The girl's chest has been growing ever since, until it reached 48 centimeters in length. Tinghao Fen eventually underwent surgery to stop the growth of her breasts, without reducing her volume, which earned her the title she was hoping to achieve. On the other hand, if her breast allowed her to be known as the woman with the biggest natural breasts in the world, it doesn't really help her because the girl still has to sleep on her back. In addition, she has to have her bras made to order. However, despite all the difficulties she may feel, Tinghao Fen seems to be perfectly comfortable with her breasts and keeps hope that she can earn a lot of money by working as a photo model. This could make her rich one day. And finally, we're going to tell you about Nayakim Gatwich, a model of South Sudanese origin who has been living in the United States for many years. When she arrived in Uncle Sam's country, Nayakim hoped to integrate with American society like all other immigrants. However, the young girl was faced with a problem she least expected: the way society looked at her because of her dark skin color, which had a negative impact on her self-esteem. But Nayakim quickly took charge and decided to take advantage of her dark skin color. So, instead of letting herself be crushed by the gaze of others, the young girl began to reveal her extraordinary skin color, which eventually allowed her to become a professional model. The Queen of Darkness, as she is known, managed to meet the challenge, albeit with great effort and patience. But all this is ancient history for the young model, who now has hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and whose net worth was estimated in 2020 at nearly 4 million euros. And yes, Nayakim Gatwich has not only become rich thanks to her amazing skin color, but she has also become a pride and inspiration for many dark-skinned girls and women. Now, tell us in the comments which of these people fascinated you the most. Don't forget to subscribe and click here to watch another of our videos.